Hello everyone. So in today's discussion assignment, we are to explain the application of each data type to business data. And then first off, let's look at what data types we can have um, in relation to Python. So a data can either be primitive or it can be non-primitive. And then examples of primitive data types. Examples can be numbers, can be text, can be date, can be time. These are examples of primitive data. And then we have what we call non-primitive data. So examples of non-primitive data can be arrays, it can be a list, it can be tables. But then let's look at uh, the examples we listed with primitive data. So we listed examples like numbers, text, date, and then time. And all these have forms they take. So when we look at an example like numbers, so the form it can take in relation to Python. So numbers takes the form of integers. So an integer is integers are whole numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are examples of whole numbers. Yeah, and then numbers can also be floats. So float simply means numbers which have decimals in them. So examples can be 1.2, 1.3, 1.5. All these are examples of floats. And then we have what you call strings. So text do takes the form of strings. So what we mean by strings is, so strings are a collection of alphabets. So examples can be Coke, can be cake, can be Kingsford, can be any other thing like any alphabet, any collection of alphabets are examples of strings. And then we have what we call the booleans. So booleans are built-in data that takes the form of true or false. So true or false are referred to as booleans. So let's take a data of a company and then try to see how we can relate um, primitive data type to the data of that particular company. So when we take a company like KFC, so people walk into KFC to make order, to place order for whatever meal they want to order. And then, so when you take a complete data set of KFC, you can have a field for the date of order. You can have the field for time of order. You can have the field for the order type. So what the person ordered can be fries, can be Coke, can be rolls, anything, whatever thing the person ordered for. And then another field can be um, quantity. So how many of that did the person order? So it can be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then we can have a last field to be the amount. So how much is the person's order in there? So how do we relate primitive data sets, or how do you find um, examples of primitive data types in the KFC data we have just created? So we said numbers are examples of primitive data types. So how do we find numbers in the KFC data we created? So in the data we created, numbers. So we can see numbers, the column named amount and then quantity are examples of numbers because they take the form of numbers. But then when you take the amount, so if someone ordered and then the amount is $2.50, so $2.50, that 2.50 is a number, but then it takes the form of a float. Yes. And then if the quantity is 1, 2, 3, 4, those are numbers, but then they are integers because they are whole numbers. And then examples of text can be the order type, what the person ordered. So if the person ordered rolls, the person ordered Coke, and all of that. Those are examples of um, order type. And then we spoke about date. So the field for date is an example of date, and then the field of time for time is time of order is an example of time. Thank you so much for watching this video, and then I hope this video was helpful. Thank you.